Good morning, my dear students. Today we are discussing about individual drug compounds of local anesthetics and their important properties. Coming to the individual drug cocaine, it is a natural alkaloid obtained from the leaves of Erythroxylon cocoa. It is a native of the habitat which is growing in South America, Peru, and Bolivia. Okay, and you know that it is a first used for ocular anesthesia in 1884, uh, which is mainly used for the purpose of surface anesthesia and is rapidly absorbed from buccal mucosa membrane. Okay, so some people used to chew the leaves for the to have that sensation of anesthetic purposes and all. Okay, so this medical use is also very limited to surface or topical anesthesia. Why? Because if you inject intravenously, it will cause protoplasmic poison, which will cause tissue necrosis. That's why it is not used most probably as intravenous. So surface anesthesia is very useful for the corneal or nasopharyngeal activities. Okay, so and also mainly it also acts on the heart and induce rapid and lethal cardiac failure. Cardiac stimulation will be caused by this cocaine. And coming to CNS actions, stimulates vasomotor center, vomiting, temperature centers. So whenever these cocaine has a stimulated vagal center, it causes bradycardia condition. You know, this vagal tone is always indicated with the heart rate. So vagal center, whenever it is stimulated, automatically it activates parasympathetic system and causes bradycardia condition. And vasomotor center is cause the rise in blood pressure. Okay, and they as it activates more temperature regulating center. A marked pyrexia is associated with cocaine overdose. Pyrexia means, you know, increase in body temperature. Whenever the temperature regulating center is activated, automatically it causes increased pyrexia due to increased heat production as a result of enhanced muscular activity. Okay, so another one is it will avoid adrenaline, because cocaine already has a vasoconstrictor properties. This is one of the exceptional case in which conditions we should not use adrenaline. Okay, why? Because it will also cause reuptake inhibition of adrenaline and noradrenaline. Okay, so that's why we cannot use mainly a combination of those. And local vasoconstriction, tachycardia, rise in blood pressure, and mydriasis are the reflection of its sympathomimetic action. Okay, so this is about the cocaine. And coming to uh, novocaine, it is the first synthetic local anesthetic introduced in 1905. It is topically ineffective, which is a disadvantage, and it can be poorly soluble salt with benzyl penicillin. And procaine penicillin injected IM acts for 24 hours due to slow absorption from the site of action. Okay, so it is also having short local duration and produces significant vasodilation. Adrenaline used to prolong effect. Why? Because it won't show any effect on the peripheral blockage of adrenaline and noradrenaline uptake, but systemic toxicity negligible because rapidly destroyed in plasma. Okay, so the procaine penicillin is a main drug which is synthesized for the clinical purposes. Okay, coming to adverse effects of the drugs, these CNS excitation followed by depression, unconsciousness, and death due to respiratory depression. And cardiovascular system, bradycardia, heart block, vasodilation. Allergic reactions are allergic dermatitis, anaphylaxis. First thing you should remember is all these adverse effects will be whenever there is a overdose occurs and it enters into the CNS, then only this will occur. Otherwise there is no chances of any adverse this much adverse effects with the local anesthetics. Okay. And coming to amides, in amide the best drug is lidocaine or lignocaine, which is introduced in 1948, and it is now also it is most widely used anesthetic. Why? Because it is having a versatile local anesthetic action. Why? Because it is also act both for the surface and also as a injectable. Okay. So and also in various forms we can see xylocaine and lidocaine, xylocaine combination, jessicaine, xylocaine 2%, 4%, like that, which in ointments, in topical applications, okay, and in some drops and also injections, everything. So there is a more versatile usage of this drug is available, and in very variety of forms are also available. If it injected around a nerve, it blocks conduction within 3 minutes, whereas procaine may take 15 minutes. Also anesthesia is more intense and longer lasting. Okay. So this also quicker CNS effects than others will be observed whenever it is crossing the CNS. Okay. But overdose will cause muscle twitching, cardiac arrhythmia, fall in BP, coma, and respiratory arrest. But it is also used as an antiarrhythmic. You can see the classification of antiarrhythmics. It is present in class 2 as antiarrhythmic. That's not class 2, in subclass 2 in class section A. Okay. This is also available as injections, topical solution, jelly, ointment, etc. Okay. So most popular drug is xylocaine, 4% topical solution, 5% ointment, and 1 and 2% injection forms. Okay. And coming to bupivacaine, this is also called as marcaine, a potent and long acting amide linked local anesthetics used for infiltration, nerve block, epidural, and spinal anesthesia of longer duration. So this is a widely used drug nowadays. At 0.25 to 5.5% solution injected epidurally produces adequate analgesia without significant motor blockade. Okay. So it is also used very popular in obstetrics. So that means delivery conditions, these can relieve post operative pain relief also. So that's why by continuous epidural infusion we can relieve the pain condition also. And also it is having high lipid solubility and also high disturbance in tissues and less in blood. Okay. So that's why it's a high distribution. When used during labor, it reaches the fetus and causing the produce neonatal depression. That's why we should take very careful insertion of the drug during delivery conditions. Okay. That means parturition conditions especially. And it will also prolong QT interval and induce ventricular tachycardia or cardiac depression, and should not be used for intravenous regional anesthesia. Okay. So epidural anesthesia of 0.75% bupivacaine during labor has caused few fatalities due to cardiac arrest. Use of this concentration is contraindicated. So we should use only very low dose of 0.25 to 0.5%. Okay. Later on an enantiomer levobupivacaine is equally potent but less cardiotoxic and less prone to cause seizures. This came into existence later, and some countries as a single enantiomer preparation will be used as it. And coming to other drugs as benzocaine, butylamino benzoate, because of very low aqueous solubility, these local anesthetics are not significantly absorbed from mucous membranes or abraded skin. They produce long lasting anesthesia without systemic toxicity, so that these benzocaine butyl amino benzoate are used as lozenges for stomatitis or sore throat, or sometimes as dusting powder, ointments like that. Okay, so both these drugs will act by PABA derivative, can antagonize sulfonamides locally, benzocaine and butyl benzoate especially. And dibucaine is the most potent and most toxic and long lasting local anesthetics. It is used as a surface anesthetic on less delicate mucous membranes and also in the anal regions. Use for spinal anesthesia of long duration has declined after the availability of bupivacaine. Okay, so like this, some of the drugs, tetracaine is also there. Tetracaine amitocaine, a highly lipid soluble PABA ester, more potent and more toxic due to slow hydrolysis by plasma pseudocholinesterase. So it can produce both surface and conduction block anesthetic. So because of the necrosis conditions, this is also restricted to topical application to the eye, nose, throat, tracheobronchial tree, and rarely to spinal or caudal anesthesia for if you require longer duration of action. So these are the important drugs. And coming to this is the conclusion, which is the PK, constant onset of action and duration and maximum dose to be given by the drugs. These three are important drugs. You know that PK, dissociation constant, should be lower for faster acting drugs, isn't it? And if it is higher and above 8, it will be slow acting drug. Okay, and coming to clinical applications, mainly the techniques which we can follow by to give local anesthesia are surface anesthesia, infiltration anesthesia, conduction block or field block, nerve block, okay, and spinal anesthesia. Okay, so these are the main, and epidural anesthesia. These are the main things which can be given as techniques of local anesthesia. Mainly surface anesthesia, you know that surface means it will produce local anesthetic action or relieving of pain condition at the specific regions on the surfaces of mucous membranes and abraded skin. Okay, so only the superficial layer is anesthetized. Okay, so surface anesthesia duration depends on site, drug, and its concentration. Okay, suppose if you take lidocaine, if it is you spray in the throat, it acts in 2 to 5 minutes and produces anesthesia for 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, so like that, addition of some other drugs such as adrenaline will not affect duration of topical anesthesia. Okay, so this is also one thing. And coming to infiltration anesthesia, this infiltration anesthesia, dilute solution of local anesthetic is infiltrated under the skin in the area of operation. That means we can direct inject into the tissues to reach nerve branches and terminals. Mainly it blocks sensory nerve endings. Onset of action is almost immediate, and duration is shorter than the nerve block. Example, if you give lidocaine 30 to 60 minutes, it will happen, and for bupivacaine 120 to 180 minutes it will last for. So mainly this infiltration anesthesia is used for minor surgeries like incisions, excisions, hydrocele, hernia, like that. Okay, so the area of anesthetized area will be very small, and a relatively larger amount of local anesthetic is required compared to the area anesthetized. Okay, so this is main infiltration anesthesia which can go for very minor surgeries. And coming to the conduction block. Conduction block means if local anesthetic is injected around nerve trunks. So if a area which is injected around nerve trunk, it will cause anesthesia and paralysis condition which is distal to the injection area. Okay, that means not in the particular at the site of injection. Suppose if you see infiltration anesthesia, it can directly where we can give surgery, there we can give, and we can proceed for the treatment, and that means operation. But in the conduction block, wherever the nerve is passing to the tissues particularly useful, there we can provide the drug. Okay, so distal, far away from the nerve trunk it acts. Okay, so mainly it is of two types, field block and nerve block. Field block means it is produced by injecting local anesthetic subcutaneously in a manner that all nerves coming to a particular field are blocked. Okay, that means in that area particularly where we are giving subcutaneously, the area surrounding that region will be affected. That means as is done in hernia, appendectomy, some dental procedures, and scalp stitching operations on forearms and legs, etc. So when compared to the infiltration anesthesia, larger area can be anesthetized. This is one of the useful thing about field block. Okay, and coming to nerve block, it is produced by injecting the local anesthetic around the appropriate nerve trunks or plexuses. So nerve trunks or plexuses, whenever we are need to do a muscle surgery, the nerves passing to the particular muscle area can be paralyzed by giving this type of injection. Okay, so the latency of anesthesia depend on drug and area to be covered by diffusion. For example, lidocaine anesthetics anesthetizes intercostal nerves within 3 minutes, but brachial plexus block may take 15 minutes. Same lidocaine for the intercostal nerves it takes 3 minutes, but in the brachial plexus it will take 15 minutes. Okay, and for plexus block also we can use some flooding techniques. That means larger volumes of drug can be injected particular to the nerve trunk. Okay, so especially the surgeries which we can perform are lingual, intercostal, sciatic, femoral, brachial, okay, facial and phrenic, etc. Okay, so these can be some used for tooth extraction operations on eyes, limbs, abdominal wall, fracture setting, trauma or ribs, etc. Okay, so this is about the nerve block condition. And coming to spinal anesthesia, spinal anesthesia is mainly given in the subarachnoid space between L2 and L3 or L3 and L4. What is L2 and L3? These are lumbar region trunks at the vertebral column, isn't it? What is subarachnoid space? The space between arachnoid matter and pia matter with cerebrospinal fluid is called subarachnoid space, isn't it? This subarachnoid space is mainly we can give at the particular L2 and L3 or L3 and L4. The space is more taken up by the drug, and it can easily pass towards the nerve root in the cauda equina rather than the spinal cord. Okay, so the cauda equina is a main region which can be taken up by the anesthesia. So this the level of anesthesia depends on the volume and speed of injection, specific gravity of the drug solution, and posture of the patient is also very important. So the order of anesthesia is sympathetic condition is higher than the motor region. Okay, the sympathetic nerves are especially highly affected with this type of spinal anesthesia. So mainly this spinal anesthesia is useful for doing operations in the regions of lower limbs, pelvis, lower abdomen, prostatectomy, fracture setting, and obstetric procedures. So these are the main region, the lower regions of our body can be done before going to operations. We can use this type of anesthesia. What is it? Spinal anesthesia, which we can give is in the subarachnoid space. Okay, and also main adverse effects of this region is mainly spinal headache, hypotension, bradycardia, respiratory depression, cardia equina syndrome, and nausea, vomiting. Drugs lidocaine and tetracaine can be used as spinal anesthetic agents. Coming to epidural or caudal anesthesia, the spinal dural space is filled with semi-liquid fat through which nerve roots travel. So whenever this space is injected with local anesthetics, it acts primarily on the nerve roots, okay, and small amount permeates through intervertebral foramina to produce multiple paravertebral blocks. So this epidural anesthesia is given in the space epidural as well as subarachnoid spaces to which it diffuses. This anesthesia is mainly divided into three regions, that is thoracic, lumbar, caudal. You know what is the main advantage of these three regions means, if you inject in the thoracic mid thoracic region, it will show effect on the thoracic part only. Okay, if you give inject in the lumbar region between the spaces of L1 or L3 L1 to L3 regions, it will produce anesthesia in the lower abdomen, pelvis and hind limbs. If you given caudal, injection is given in the sacral canal through the sacral hiatus, it will produce anesthesia of pelvic and perineal region. Okay, so mainly caudal anesthesia is useful for vaginal delivery, anorectal and genitourinary operations. Okay, most drugs here also preferred is lidocaine and bupivacaine. Especially these two drugs are very important for both spinal anesthesia and epidural anesthesia. Okay, duration of anesthesia for bupivacaine is longer, and it prolongs the addition of it also prolonged by addition of adrenaline. Okay, so these are the important points. And coming to the desirable properties of local anesthetics, so the regional anesthesia is also nothing but local anesthesia, isn't it? So what is the things to be remembered for giving local anesthetics means, the local anesthetic should be non-irritating, it should not cause any permanent alteration of nerve structure. You know that in definition itself it is called as reversible anesthesia, isn't it? So permanent alteration should not be there in any nerve structure, it should not cause any damage to the nerves, and systemic toxicity should be very low. Systemically the drugs passage is very less, even though if it is entered, the recovery should be very fast, and it also should have fast onset of action. It should be effective regardless of whether it is injected into the tissue or applied locally to mucous membrane. It should have longer duration of action. So these are the main desirable properties or ideal properties of local anesthetics to be possessed by the drugs. So these are the some of the newer techniques of local anesthetic. Ionotophoresis or lidocaine soaked sponges, these will be kept on the hand, and If you give there will be two anode and cathode which is present in the small button shaped box, and if you press that, the current will be passed, and these stimulations will occur to release the drug. Okay. And another form is liposomes. These liposomes mainly bupivacaine formulation is available, and lidocaine is also available, which can be used very easily, which can pass through. Bioavailability will be more with the liposomes when compared to the normal drugs. So this is about local anesthetics. Please go through Tripathi for any further doubts.